Shalom, Royal Family. The class you are about to hear is taught by the Honorable Yahweh, Beit Nun Sophie Yahweh, many years ago. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Visit us at www.yahweh144000.com. Also, Royal Family, you can enroll in classes designed for the Godhead at www.universityofyahweh.org. And also, Royal Family and friends, we want to share with you Yahweh's Keys to Riches. And on that YouTube channel, you can listen to Yahweh's daily word and keep up with the correct solar time each and every day. We'd like to see you there as well. Go to Yahweh's Keys to Riches. It's in the description below so that you can join us there as well. Remember, when you get there, just like here, remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channels. All right, Royal Family, we look forward to seeing you there as well. Enjoy.
I'm extremely happy to have this opportunity to speak with you and to share my joy at the ingathering. Most assuredly, this is the ingathering, and Yahweh, my Father, is using me in my incarceration and through my incarceration to reach the Godhead, to reach the dead, to carry out my mission of resurrecting the dead. So what I want to do is certainly bring out to you a common theme this Tabernacles, and that is speak to you briefly on the dry bones. We, the so-called black men of America, are certainly the dry bones. And the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh is upon me to be in your midst, to walk around in your midst, and to make an assessment as to whether or not you can live. I am certainly aware of the fact that this valley called America is full of dry bones. And Yahweh is the one, my Father, Yahweh, is responsible for me passing round about you, such as I did in the 1984-85 tour, as well as the circuits that I have made teaching you how to move from poverty to riches, moving round about you. I discovered that there were more of you in America than the census admit. I had my personal reasons for going around, and I wanted to know personally how many of our people were in this country. And in going around, I discovered in the major cities of America, we are those cities, and that our slave masters constitute what is called a suburb. I also understood that we were 30 million by their account for the last 50 years. In other words, we had never grown. And I thought they should have at least had 30 million and 15. Since my mother had 15 children, we should have certainly grown by 15 out of 50 years. And knowing that we have actually grown to over 60 million people, it meant that we are the majority ethnic group in this country. And a very strong conspiracy exists to hide from us the power of our numbers. And of course, I have revealed to you the reason for that concealment. The reason is to keep you from feeling a sense of power, of knowing that how urgent it would be and how beautiful it would be to dwell together in unity and come to power. You would be the rulers in the country, without any question about that. So my incarceration has caused me to reveal to you and to the world that we are 60 million strong 50 million weak, but 60 million strong. That's one of the reasons that the war on drugs was concocted, and it's synonymous with eliminating the young black men from our streets all over this country. I'm here in prison, and I can see the ratio. I can see that they have trapped our men in here between the ages of 18 and 30. It's us. Millions of our people are in prison behind the game of war on drugs. I'm going to share with you during the week also St. John chapter 12, verse 31, letting you know that the real theme this week is now is the judgment of this world, and the prince of this world shall be cast out. That is the theme. Now is the judgment of this world. In bringing that out, I want you to know that the dry bones is essential to our lives as a people. And you must catch the vision of the dry bones. So I will go over it synoptically in form. I will not go over it in its depth. I'll save that for my coming out. In the meantime, I want you to know that Yahweh has caused me and is the causer of me passing among you throughout this country. It's a fact that our people's minds are very dry. That means they're bleached out, without form, they're void, full of chaos, full of confusion. And it's this fact that we are in darkness, that we are unable to make a move to benefit ourselves, our family, or this country. And we are going to remain that way so long as we're outside the knowledge of Yahweh. Those four letters, Yahweh, constitute all the power that exists. Within this name is all power. There is no limit to the power of Yahweh, and it's concentrated in his name. It's so powerful that when I started teaching you the name, I started going in a concentrated form perhaps 4 years ago. And Yahweh put it upon me to wait to a future time to begin to teach you the actual knowledge of the name. The reason I withheld teaching you the knowledge of the name is because there were too many hypocrites, unbelievers, disbelievers sitting among us, and the people for whom it was intended would miss that blessing. My Father Yahweh has spoken to me and caused me to ask you a question. Can these dry bones live? Certainly, when you look at the condition of our people in America, that's a good question, and it would cause any rational person to say, there's just really no hope. How in the world can these dry bones, so-called blacks of America, live? And this is the response, oh, Yahweh, only you know. Now, that's not an escape hatch. It's just a fact that who would know besides Yahweh himself? I need you to turn to St. John chapter 5, verse 21. We know that when Ezekiel is speaking of the Son of Man, that this is talking about Yahweh, Bain, Yahweh. Let's read. For as the Father raiseth up the dead and quickeneth them, even so the Son quickeneth whom he will. Now, what we're seeing here is that it's really up to me. It's within my will as to when the dead is raised, how the dead is raised. Also, it's within my power to raise the dead. Notice that both the Father and Son are involved in the process. So the conversation in Ezekiel chapter 37 is between the Father and the Son. The Father, Yahweh, is asking Yahweh, Bain, Yahweh, this question, can the dry bones live? And the fact that I am born in your midst and living in your midst having come through the seed of Abraham, the same as you, is a very perplexing question. And if I were not raised by my father from the dead, I wouldn't be able to have any faith in answering that question. But the fact that my Father, Yahweh, has raised me from the dead, then I can answer the question and cause your spirit to be quickened. And I want you to pay very close attention to this message tonight, and I want you to also make certain you get this tape, and you play it and you share it with the dead. Don't try to interpret it. Just simply share it. I would also like for you to turn to 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 9. And it says, "But we had the sentence of death in ourselves, that we should not trust in ourselves, but in Yahweh, which raises the dead, who delivers us," in verse 10, "from so great a death, and does deliver, in whom we trust that he will yet deliver us." Isn't this something to look at? Here, we have the sentence of death in ourselves. This lets you know that you are the walking dead, the living dead. As the dead, you are speaking and talking, and you have to come to a consciousness. This is what is being expressed here in Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 3, is we must come to a consciousness. I have certainly come to the consciousness that the sentence of death is in ourselves. And when did this happen? When we broke the laws, when you broke the laws in the garden, the sentence of death took place within yourself. Where within yourself? Within your mind. This means that you died spiritually and mentally. You lost all your consciousness of Yahweh and his laws. You simultaneously lost your rulership in the garden. So perhaps I will touch a little on the garden before this week is out and share some startling news with you, which I have never taught you or revealed to you in 12 years. But the most important thing that you can think of now is to remember the mystery of verse 3, Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 3, is that you have the sentence of death in yourself, and it would last 6,000 years. According to the solar calendar, we are now 5,995 years into the sentence. This almost makes me have to tell you something from the garden now. And I guess I will just touch it synoptically for a moment. In Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, is evidence of the first trial in the history of 6,000 years. The first trial on earth took place in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. And in this trial, Yahweh gave out various sentences, one to Lucifer, one to Eve, and one to Adam. Now, of course, I will speak on those sentences later, because though I tell you that, and though you turn to that scripture and look at it, you still will not be able to see the various sentences that took place, the trial that took place, and all about the complexity of this trial. Just know that it's a shock perhaps to your mind right now to know that that is the whole essence of an entire trial that took place, the first trial that took place. In the meantime, that when it speaks of the sentence here in 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 9, I want you to understand that that sentence took place in the garden in chapter 3. And that's where the trial was held. I'm sure that that's shocking to your mind, but this is a part of the process of your resurrection from the dry bones to live. Because the question here was, my father, Yahweh, asked me, as the Son of Man, can these bones live? Can the so-called black men of America live? Can they live? Will they ever live? become one, so that whatever they imagine to do, they can accomplish it? Will they ever return to the rulership they had before the garden incident with Lucifer? Will they ever live as they did originally prior to the garden, before these 6,000 years? We lived forever. There is no record of our death, of anyone ever dying, until we broke the law by accepting the mindset of Lucifer in the garden. No record of death. Think about that. No record of death. We were eternal. We lived eternally. And when we took the mindset, the philosophy of Lucifer in the garden, then we received a sentence of death from Yahweh. Because he said that if you were to eat of those trees of good and evil, then you would die. Lucifer lied to you and said no. And of course, you ate. And I think that when you look at the condition of the black man of America, you will be the first to agree that you have been dead, and that those who have not encountered my spirit and received me or received my name, received the name of my Father, are indeed dead. I don't think that any civilized, conscious person on earth will deny there's something seriously wrong with the black man of America. He's totally out of order. He's totally out of bounds. And even when you look at the terrible life that people live in America, immoral life, that the worst of them all is the black man of America. So you've indeed received, as a people, the sentence of death within yourself. And you received that sentence at trial. There was a trial, and your father and mothers were there at that trial. And you're still suffering from that sentence this very hour. And that's the purpose of the question. Can you live? Also, in ourselves, I think I spoke already to you that you received it in yourself, in your mind. That's where you receive this death. Now, that's the most elusive place to find anything. It's something to be placed inside your mind and or in your brain, and you can't find it, especially when it's not called to your attention. Even though someone called you dead, that doesn't make you alive. Though someone called you blind, deaf, dumb, ignorant, and dead to the knowledge of your God, Yahweh, saying that to you does not give you the knowledge. And even when the knowledge of Yahweh is presented to you, unless you receive it, you remain under the sentence of death in yourself. Now, in verse 9, there is a secret. This says, then we should not trust in ourselves. How can a dead man trust in himself? How can a person who is conscious go to the mortuary and say he has sanity and is trusting in that dead body laying in the casket? That's a graphic analysis of the condition of the black man of America. You may wonder why the different nations of the earth have rejected the black man of America in the building of their civilizations. It's simply because they know that you have the sentence of death in yourself. And they can't trust you to sit among them as a conscious person. They know that you're under a sentence of death. So knowing that, nobody trusts you. And guess what? You are unable to trust each other. There is just seemingly a silent testimony within yourself that you just can't put your trust in another black man. That's why you cannot cooperate together. This message is for all of the spiritually and mentally dead blacks of America. You will never be able to cooperate together until you understand what I'm bringing to you. You shall understand this. You shall understand this message. And the 60 million jawbones, you shall live. But you cannot live without understanding the mystery and receiving the mystery of this particular chapters and verses here in the dry bones, which is a mystery to you. Once again, I'm in 2 Corinthians chapter 1. We cannot trust in ourselves. Even you cannot trust in your individual self. Being blind, deaf, dumb, ignorant, and dead, having the sentence of death inside your mind, and you've been unable to shake off and gain the victory over death. So you have to be able to gain the victory over the death and gain victory over the grave that you live in. And be able to put your bones back together. And until you gain that victory, then you are a victim of death. So here we said, we can't trust in ourselves, but we must trust in Yahweh, who raises the dead. It is Yahweh who raises the dead. And that's who we have to put our trust in. The one who has the power to raise the dead. And since we saw also that it is the Son who has this power, getting it from the Father, that we are to put our trust. So since it is Yahweh that is raising the dead and has the power to raise the dead, then that's who you put your trust in. And as you put your trust in Yahweh, then you will regain your power. You will regain your wealth. You will regain your morality. You will regain charity. You will regain your history. You will regain your culture. And I just love the series of Poverty to Riches as I watch it. So it's just a fabulous series, and I'm sure that all of you who are present at this convention are just excited about the Poverty to Riches TV show, which has come about because the enemy of Yahweh dared to lay his hands upon me. Of 2 Corinthians chapter 1, we see that there is a colon at the end of dead. It goes on to let us know that it is Yahweh who is delivering us from so great a death. I mean, there has never been a death like this upon the black man of America. What is so different that it's called a great death. It's not a normal death, but a great death. Now, normally we would think that just death is death. Then when you go to the cemetery, you don't see any difference in dead bodies. But the fact that this is a spiritual death and a mental death is referred to here as a great death. And yet, Yahweh is able to deliver us from this death. And does deliver. He has delivered us. He's the one who will deliver us and does deliver in the present tense. So this is the one, Yahweh, in whom we trust that he will yet deliver all of us, the rest of us, our whole people. The fact that he has done it with his son, Yahweh ben Yahweh, then I am proof positive, after having raised you who are under the sound of my voice from your graves, my Father, Yahweh, gave me the power to raise you. He demonstrated his power in raising me. I demonstrate my power in raising you. That proves that my Father and I are one. We are one of one spirit. Also here, in verse 11, we also are helping together by prayer for us, that for the gift bestowed upon us by the means of many persons, thanks may be given by many on our behalf. So, in verse 12 is important. For our rejoicing is this, the testimony of our conscience, that in simplicity and godly sincerity, not with fleshly wisdom, by the grace of Yahweh. Now, I gave you in our last feast about me giving out my grace. It's by my grace that you are saved. It is by my grace that you are delivered. It is by my grace that you're saved from such a great death as you have experienced. It's by the grace of Yahweh that we are experiencing our dry bones coming together. So let's go back to John chapter 5, verse 21 for a moment. And it says, "For as the Father raises up the dead and gives back life to them, even so the Son quickeneth whom he will." That's the tie-in to your sentence. So once again, it's tied to the Father and the Son that you are raised from the dead. That's the secret of Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 3. Now that's not the only secret, but that is certainly a part of it that I want to share with you tonight in this class. Now let us move to the next verse, Ezekiel 37, verse 4. Again, Yahweh has said unto me, my Father, to prophesy unto you as the bones, and to say unto you that you must hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. I am preaching to you that you must hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. There is no salvation in any other name but Yahweh. And it's in the power of the name. No one can argue with this as you study Yahweh. As you begin to study the Hebrew, get a Hebrew dictionary. Use your Strong's Exhaustive Concordance Dictionary in Hebrew. This is one of the most important tools that you have not been using over the years, is a Hebrew dictionary for these words that you are reading and studying about in each verse. So again, I say to you that you are to hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. That's a command. And those that love the Lord Yahweh keep his commandments. See, that's written. If you love me, keep my commandments. John chapter 14, verse 15. Let's turn to that. I'm sure you've read it many, many, many times. If you love me, keep my commandments. Now let's go to John chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of Yahweh, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not burdensome. They are not grievous. They do not cause you to grieve, nor are they a burden. So we are to keep his commandments if we love him. And there's a commandment here that we are to hear the words of the Lord Yahweh, who has the power to let you off of your sentence and cut your sentence short and let you live. Now let us go to verse 5, Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 5. I'm sure that your pens and pencils are busy and you're enjoying going back and forth in the Word tonight. This is the way I taught from the beginning. I taught from house to house, and we had our Bibles, pens, and notebooks, and we studied together. And that's what you're back to. If you ever left it, if you're new, welcome. So Ezekiel 37, verse 5. Thus saith the Lord God Yahweh unto you who are called bones, I will cause breath to enter into you, and you shall live. That's not maybe you shall live. Don't wonder if you are going to live. I will cause you. I will cause you to live. This is a positive affirmation. When we pray to Yahweh, he's different from other gods. We don't beg him. He speaks affirmatively. There is no doubt about what Yahweh will do. As his son, I'm telling you emphatically what I am going to do. no doubt about this. I am ordered to prophesy to you, and I am prophesying to you. I will cause breath to enter into you, and you shall live. Let's turn to the book of Psalms, chapter 104, verse 1. Bless the Lord Yahweh, O my soul. O Lord Yahweh, my God, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. So here we are to ask Yahweh to what? First of all, we are ordered to bless the Lord Yahweh. Now you might say, well, how in the world or why would I bless Yahweh? How in the world could I do that? That means bless his name. You certainly don't need to bless his person. But this tells you something, that you have the power to bless. The only reason that you are unaware that you have the power to bless is you are dead. The sentence of death is operating in you. Once you come out from under the sentence of death and live, then you have the same power that Isaac had to bless. You see, Isaac had the power to bless his son, and he intended to bless who? Esau. And his power to bless is so powerful that though he did not know it was Esau, he blessed Jacob because he was blind and couldn't see who he had intended to bless. But yet the blessing held, and is in effect until this day, because he had the power to bless. You see, our forefathers had the power to bless because the sentence of death was not as strong upon them. And they understood that. But you've lost that knowledge entirely, that you have the power to bless. I'm bringing you back to that knowledge now. You have power with Yahweh and with man when you have come from under the sentence of death. So the fact that it was demonstrated in Genesis chapter 27, verse 33, it says here that, and Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, where is he that hath taken venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him? Yea, and he shall be blessed. See, there was no doubt in Isaac's mind about first that he could bless, and then after he blessed, he said, indeed the blessing cannot be taken back. It's binding. So, in using my name, he was able to bless. But then he had a question. That who only means that he had a question. He was suspicious of who it was because he really wanted to bless Esau, and he really secretly realized after he had blessed Jacob that that's what had happened. So he raised this question, who? He said, but the blessing remains because it has come out of my mouth. So, again, we are ordered here to come from under the sentence of death. I'm revealing this out, that you have the power to bless the Lord Yahweh from your soul. Your soul. That's where the blessing comes from. Your soul. When you are a living soul, you have the power to bless the Lord Yahweh. You have the power to bless your children. You have the power to bless others. And I must warn you, you also have the power to curse. You have the power to curse. Genesis chapter 12, verse 3 tells us that our Father Yahweh will bless those that bless us and curse those that curse us. So you have the power to do both. And when you become the sons and the daughters of Yahweh, you gain this power by coming from under the sentence of death. What a glory to learn this kind of wisdom. So I'm showing you where your blessing comes from and where it's issued from. It's issued from your soul. And then it tells you, O Lord Yahweh, my God. You are very great. It goes on to let you know that you are clothed with honor and majesty. This requires knowledge to understand that Yahweh is clothed with honor and with majesty. Now, let's take a look at honor and let's take a look at majesty. Because you are not alive until you understand several things. Number one, the purpose of your resurrection is to understand that you are the sons and daughters of Yahweh. And as the sons of Yahweh, then you carry his genes and chromosomes. And in carrying Yahweh genes and chromosomes, then you have the propensity to be perfect as he is perfect, to demonstrate the same powers that he demonstrates, to have the identical characteristics that Yahweh has. That's your inheritance. That's your blessing. So now, let's look at honor. It means that when you bless him, you know that he's great. So Yahweh has esteem. So you're supposed to be a people of high esteem, of consideration. You're to be a people of great respect. You are to be a people of great repute and great reputation. Not an immoral reputation, but a great reputation. You are to have a great good name. You are to have a great good report. Not an ordinary report, but you are to be of great distinction, of great notability. Yahweh is great in eminence. He's the greatest eminence. So you are to be greatly eminent. You are supposed to demonstrate great prestige, great influence. Not talking about being a minority. It's a disgrace for the world to know that you are the gods of this planet. And you're walking around calling yourself a minority. If there were only one of you, I know just the fact that there's one of you conscious and living in the name Yahweh, you understand you are the majority, though you are one person. Because all things come from Yahweh. And when you stand in the name of Yahweh, then you stand with the characteristics of the Father. And the fact that there's a whole nation of us, or the fact that 144,000 of us will be coming forward with these characteristics, can you imagine how great we are and how great we will be in the sight of the people of this earth? We are to be great in authority. You are walking around on this earth without authority. You're walking around on this earth begging people to give you authority to do something. But I will cause you to rise from your graves and exercise great authority. You shall have great esteem. You shall be regarded greatly. You shall be of great respect. I am going to cause you to be of great repute. I am going to cause you to be of a great reputation. I will cause you to have a good name in the earth. I will cause you to have a good report in the earth. And I will cause you to be of great distinction in the earth. Notice, I have changed gears on you from you should to you shall. Because when we went back to Ezekiel chapter 37 verse 4, you notice that in prophesying to you, I'm to let you know what you shall be as opposed to what you should be. Because all of your life, you have false leaders, unenlightened leaders, who are telling you you should do this, that, and the other. They're always telling you what's wrong, telling you about the problems and what you need to do, but no one is showing you how to do. When I say that you shall do this, it it means I carry within me the power to cause it. Praise Yahweh. I have the power within myself to cause you to have great fame. I shall cause you to become illustrious and to have great glory and great exaltation among the people of the earth. How do I know? Because righteousness exalts a nation. According to Psalms chapter 14, verse 34. I'm going to cause you to have great exaltation because I'm bringing you the perfect moral message of righteousness. Also, I'm going to cause you to be a people of honesty, an honest people. You shall be known all over the earth as an honest people. Without the knowledge of Yahweh, we have a reputation around the earth of being a dishonest people, of being liars and thieves and robbers and muggers and just a people of ill repute. That's our reputation around the planet Earth. And all people are warned to stay away from us and stay away from our neighborhoods because that's the mark we carry as a people. I am here to raise you up from this death sentence that you're carrying in yourself and cause you to become an honest people. I am here to cause you, and you shall become a people of integrity. You shall become a people of probity, a people who are known to be upright, an upright people, a rectitudinal people. I am going to cause you to actually become a people known to stand on the square of righteousness. I am going to cause you to be known all over this earth as a people of truth, a truthful people. Can you imagine how many people on the earth are going to be honored to be in your presence? The black man of America is known to be the opposite of truth. Yes, I'm going to cause you to be known for your truthfulness. I'm going to cause you to be known for your veracity and straightforwardness. We as a people have taken on the characteristics of the serpent whom we've been deceived by, and we're known for our crookedness as a people. Our people are known as a bunch of crooks with crooked minds and are anything but straight or straightforward. Also, I'm going to cause you to become a forthright people. You will be known for your justice and your justness. All of your decisions will be just decisions. Everybody on earth are going to seek you to be the judges of the planet. The corrupt judges, such as are being experienced all over the earth for taking bribes and being corrupt and evil in office. Who wants those kind of judges over their affairs? That's what's wrong with the world, is corrupt judges. But now is not the time to be concerned about the corrupt judges. The time is now that we should be concerned about ourselves becoming just. And when we become just, then you will become a just judge. And I'm here to cause that. And when I say cause it, it means, first of all, I'm now calling it to your attention. And then after I call it to your attention, I will manifest it in your actions. So I was at Psalms chapter 104, verse 1, the book of Psalms, chapter 104, verse 1. I will finish giving you the information on being on your honor and majesty, and of course understanding that we came from the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, and we're still in verse 4, where I am bringing you prophecy. Understand that this prophecy is a positive affirmation. It is not maybe I will do this, maybe I will cause this, or maybe Yahweh will cause this, maybe Yahweh Bane, Yahweh will cause this. There's no doubt about it. I shall cause this to happen in your life and in the lives of these jawbones here in the valley known as America. I think you should find this extremely exciting. I do. looking into the mystery of Ezekiel chapter 37. You've never looked at it like this before in your life, and you've read it many times. I certainly have gone over this particular chapter with you over the years, and you've never seen it like this or understood it like this. And it's a thrill to me to cause you to be able to see with new eyes. Where you were blind, you can now see. Also, I would like to call to your attention the storms that have been raking America. I'm sure that you have been hearing about what's happening with Yahweh using nature to retaliate against America's persecution in holding me, my crucifixion. Yahweh is destroying this country all over, and at this point I won't try to reiterate all of the storms, but I'm sure the areas that you've come from, you're aware that Yahweh has just moved all over this country, and right now 5 states are on fire. Also, a severe thunderstorm front moved from Texas all the way up to Detroit and Chicago, that area. Simultaneously, the entire section of country was under severe thunderstorms and lightning. Also, 80-degree weather in the front of this front. And hurricane force winds over 75 miles per hour in the middle with rain and floods, followed by snow and ice. And up north is snow and ice storms. And snowstorms out in the Rockies and other areas. It's just a destruction. We had something similar to a hurricane from here in Florida all the way up to Maine. And Yahweh got after President Bush, destroyed his home up there, multi-million-dollar home. He had 2,700 multi-million-dollar homes destroyed by fire out there in California. I warned this country that if this government put their hands on me, they will find out that Yahweh controls nature. Again, I want you to know this has been a pleasure, a joy, and a thrill for me to speak with you tonight. It has certainly been a thrill and a joy to talk to you from Metropolitan Correctional Center here in Miami, Florida, where there are many people from different nations and different countries who are suffering pretrial detention, unjust sentences. We have people who are from different countries who have served their sentences and are still being held in the prison in this country for slave labor. They have industries called unicorn where they're working people as slaves for 11 cents an hour. This is a crime to have modern slavery going on, but they're well experienced at that, having kept our people, the black men in slavery here, these last 436 years. They are very skilled at bringing people from other countries and doing the same. Once again, I'm here and been anointed by Yahweh to open the prisons. So when Yahweh takes me out of this prison, I will come back and open up all the prisons of America and let the various people who want to leave this country go back home and be free and live in a free world. I'm not just going to free the people in this country, but the prisons all over the planet Earth, so that all men can live in peace and happiness and the pursuit of joy and happiness on this planet Earth. Again, know that I love you. I love you eternally. And remember these words: by this shall all men know that you are my disciples, when you show love one to the other. And remember, no murderer can go to heaven. And if you hate your brother, you're considered a murderer. And also remember, how can a man say that he loves God, whom he's never seen, hate his brother, whom he sees every day? You must show love one to the other, as I have shown love to you. Again, I love you, and I even hate to get off the phone at this time, but I must. I love you, and I'll see you on tomorrow night. Aniyaho, Aniyaho. And remember, Kazak Ve'imas, be of strong courage. Again, Shalom Aleichem.